Our Abby Wilt has been in Oregon covering these wildfires for the past 2 days. She is now live in Baker City outside that evacuation zone. Abby, what's the latest out there?
Morgan and Hunter, 635 people are fighting this fire right now, ground and air attack. And we are here in Baker City where I-84 is closed. As you can see, I'm by the off ramp to I-84. You cannot get up there, but there's also 540 people without power in Huntington. Idaho Power has turned their power off in order to keep crews safe and avoid any hazards in Huntington. A fast-moving fire.
We went to bed Thursday night and all we could see was some smoke, off in the distance.
Threatening people, structures, and livestock in eastern Oregon. Allison Osmond says the Durkee fire surrounded her home outside Huntington.
It crested this hill above our field at about, I think it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. And then it started coming down into our field.
She's under level 3 go evacuation orders, but decided to stay back.
And they said, hey, you guys might want to get up and get some things going here because the fire's, up over on the hill.
Along with about 540 other people in Huntington, Osmond is without power. Lightning sparked the Durkee fire last Thursday, and as of Tuesday evening, it's grown to nearly 240,000 acres. It's not contained at all. Now, the Durkee fire is still 0% contained, and Huntington and Rye Valley are still on level 3 evacuations, which means get out now. We are right along I-84. As you can tell, the flames are getting pretty close to the road. This is about 5 minutes past the exit to get into Huntington, and just from today to yesterday you can see a very big difference. These flames were not this close to the road yesterday. You can see the whole hillside is about to be scorched. Fire crews report no structures have burned. Fortunately, flames didn't touch Osmond's home thanks to neighbors and firefighters.
As it came down into the field, everyone just went out there with shovels and their little pumpers. There's some ranchers that have stuff like this. They pumped water out of our swimming pool when their tanks ran dry.
She never expected a fire this extreme in her backyard.
We were preparing for it. We have cattle out here and some horses to keep the grass eaten down just in case of this scenario. And we didn't think it would ever do this.
Although she is still under go evacuation orders, Osmond thinks her home is safe from the flames and feels it's her turn to help her neighbors.
We had the fire here and the fire there, and everybody just came together, and it was not fun, but it was actually amazing how everybody just kind of pitched in and did what needed to be done.
I just got off the phone with the Baker County Sheriff's Office, and they said that they are expecting hot, dry, and very windy conditions again tonight. So to make sure to prepare, stay vigilant, and evacuate if you are told to. And I also spoke with a couple of people here in Baker City who have not been able to get back to Huntington to check on their property, and I'll be bringing you that report at 10.
Our Abby Wilt is live outside the courthouse with a preview of what's to come for Brian Kohberger. Abby.
Morgan, Kohberger is expected to be here at the Ada County Courthouse next week, and that hearing is supposed to lay out the next steps for the trial, including the timeline of the trial. The Ada County Courthouse tells me today that after having the Lori Vallow trial here and the Chad Daybell trial here, they do feel prepared for a trial of this nature.
It's not the first time we've dealt with a case of significant import to the public that generates a lot of not just local but national interest.
The attention is on Ada County.
All the proceedings will be here in Ada County.
For the trial of Brian Kohberger, the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students in November of 2022. He will appear in court for the first time in Boise Thursday.
I'm sure Mr. Kohberger would be present for that hearing.
Judge James Cawthon, who's the Deputy Administrative District Judge but not assigned to the case, says it'll be a status conference to determine next steps for Kohberger.
It's a chance for Judge Hippler, for the counsel involved, to kind of find direction for moving forward and moving the case towards the trial.
The trial was previously scheduled to begin in June of 2025 and last 3 months, but now that start date and length is up in the air.
All the time schedules that were laid out in Latah County will have to be reset for hearing in Ada County.
Judge Stephen Hippler, who's assigned to the case, can also determine whether there will be virtual options for hearings, like for the defense and the prosecution, so they aren't traveling back and forth from North Idaho.
The courts do have an option for people to appear virtually, but that's probably one of the matters that may be discussed.
Ada County will provide all resources for this case, with no help from outside counties.
Being that it's been transferred to Ada County, in as much as we have an Ada County judge presiding over that, it'll be our resources that we're using to handle the case.
As Ada County has to allocate more resources to the Kohberger trial, Cawthon says he's confident previously scheduled trials will go on.
I don't think anything's going to be delayed or put off into the future because we have this trial. The court proceedings we would normally be doing had Mr. Kohberger's case not come to us, we would still be business as usual.
And Cawthon tells me that the county will work together to put on a fair trial for Kohberger, a fair trial for the families of the victims, and a fair trial to the public to get information on this case. Every winter, hundreds of families come right here to the Payette National Forest to get their Christmas tree. They don't just come to find the perfect Christmas tree, but to create some family memories along the way.
This just brings a little more uniqueness to the whole experience.
It's a tradition the Simpson family looks forward to every year.
It brings the joy to the season for sure.
As they set out on a snowy adventure,
We've been zigzagging around this mountain trying to find a good tree. It's a bit of a hunt to find the right tree at times.
to hunt for a Christmas tree, one that kids, Abby and Oliver, had high hopes for.
What do you think Christmas trees have to be?
Poofy.
Yeah.
We want a big puffy one, but we don't want it to be too tall. How tall do they have to be, Ollie? Well, I think they should be at least 1 foot taller than Dad.
Thankfully, those dreams do fit Payette National Forest requirements.
You don't want to cut down a tree that's larger than 12 feet. Good tree is a fir. Firs are friendly, we call them. When you touch them, the needles are soft.
The Payette National Forest says you aren't allowed to cut down a white bark pine tree. But other than that, as long as you have a permit and follow guidelines, you're good to go.
You bring warm clothes, enough food and water. You'll want to bring a saw, maybe a tarp to drag it back on.
The Simpsons had those things. So after a few tries,
No? Okay.
Ollie, what about that one down there? Or is that too far?
they found the one.
Yeah, this one? I like it. Can I cut it down?
And it was time for Abby to use the family saw
Just like that. Keep going.
and safely cut the tree down. A tradition they say isn't just about finding a tree, but also getting outside, making family memories, and spending time together.
It's all those little moments brought together to make the holiday season.
You can get your Christmas tree permit at recreation.gov or at any Forest Service office. Reporting in the Payette National Forest, Abby Wilt, Idaho's News Channel 7.